This is DFW Storm Chasers reporting for Vortex, and today we're going to be looking over some of the severe weather that might be coming in the next few days. So let's get right into it. So this is the Storm Prediction Center's website. It's the National Weather Service. It's a branch of the National Weather Service that covers severe weather and other things related to severe weather. And so this is their day one outlook, and today is the 22nd of October. So this is the day one outlook showing what is expected today. Today is mostly over, so there might be a few isolated storms in Oklahoma, North Carolina, and near Norfolk, Virginia. But besides that, rest of the country looks pretty clear. Tornado risk is 2%. Wind risk is 5%, and it's all over North Carolina, both of those. And the hail risk is 5% in North Carolina and southern Kansas in northern Oklahoma. Now, the day two outlook, on the other hand, is a slight risk, with the marginal extending into most of Missouri and all the way down to the Texas Panhandle, where the slight is running throughout northern Kansas from north of Topeka along the Nebraska border over to about Kansas City. The hail risk is 15. The wind risk is 5, and the tornado is 2. The tornado risk is 2% tornado risk. And what's interesting to note, the tornado risk is outside of the 15% hail risk. At least most of it is. So southern Kansas has a small risk for tornadoes tomorrow, and then northern Kansas all the way over to Kansas City is most likely a hail risk. Day 3. This is a day that we're going to be watching. This is a large enhanced over here. The marginal runs all the way from about Waco, Texas, all the way over to Des Moines, Iowa, Chicago, almost, and then down to northern Mississippi. Slight risk goes all the way from about Dallas, all the way up to Kansas City, towards Peoria, Illinois. Sorry for voice crack. Over to the Indiana, Kentucky border, all the way down to Memphis, Tennessee. And then the enhanced runs from near St. Louis all the way down to Little Rock, Arkansas, over to McAllen, Oklahoma, up to about Kansas City. There's also a marginal risk on the Oregon coast over here associated with a large low that's going to be spinning headed towards the coast of Oregon. So, the probabilistic, there's no tornado, hail, or whatever risk, but it just has all of them combined in here, and it's 30% significant, meaning either 10% significant chance of tornadoes, 30% significant chance of wind, or 30% significant chance of hail. Either of those is also pretty dangerous, so we got to look out for that as well. So let's read over the discussion. Low amplitude short wave trough will move through Kansas and Oklahoma during the day, reaching the middle Mississippi Valley later Sunday afternoon and evening. The attendant resident surface low will move farther from northeast Kansas during the morning into Illinois overnight. Trailing front will sweep through Kansas and Oklahoma into the Mississippi Valley. It will also include North Texas, reaching Tennessee and Ohio valleys overnight. A warm front will extend east from the low and spread northward throughout the Ohio Valley. All of this stuff is just stuff that a lot of people won't understand. So I'll basically just summarize it. Warm front, you see the cursor? Warm front extends here. Cold front and dry line extend down here. And right where the low is, that's the highest risk over here. And then down here, DFW, East Oklahoma, they got a pretty good chance of something. And then over here in southern Illinois, they got a chance of northern moving stuff, or southern moving. Depends on which way it's moving. And right here, it's southern Missouri, southern and central Missouri. That's the highest risk for severe thunderstorms. Predictability too low for day 4. But so yeah, but the discussion is mentioning a potential for some severe weather extending into the Tennessee and Ohio valleys. But it's expected not to get over the Appalachians. So it's just a small amount, probably in eastern Tennessee, Kentucky, and maybe even into northern Georgia. Then, day 5, big 15%, which is day 4 through 8. They only do 15 or 30%, which is equivalent to a slight or enhanced risk. And remember, it goes up with each day, usually, because they don't want to be too aggressive and then call something too early. So they usually don't do that. But, alright, here, day 5, extending from southern Nebraska all the way down to about Waco or Killeen, Texas, over to the Arkansas, Oklahoma border, and all the way to the Panhandle of Texas and main part of Oklahoma border. Day 5, strong upper trough is forecast to undergo significant amplification as it moves through the southern and central plains. Moisture return and instability in advance of this system should become sufficient for severe thunderstorms along and ahead of the surface of the attendant cold front, with the greatest threat expected over a portion of the central and southern plains. So right here, basically this is a May setup. This is more like May. This is more like a May setup right here that you'd see with the low up here, cold front extending down here, cold front and dryland directly ahead of it down here, possibly a few warm front storms extending into Iowa, and then probably a cold core event set up in Montana if Cape can get up there. So yeah, we gotta be on a lookout for this day as well. And then day 6, another chance of severe storms, extending from central Louisiana to southern Georgia and the Florida Panhandle. It's probably the shortest day 6 I've ever seen for a 15%. A threat for severe storms might persist as the upper trough continues through the southeast United States during the day and into the evening, where Gulf moisture will return to be the greatest. So, basically, the low, which provides shear and winds for the storms, is continuing right along here. It's carrying that low, and it's going to go down here. It's going to sweep down here. And we might not have as much Cape, but we're definitely going to have way more moisture. So, we might have an event down here in the 15%. So we got to look out for that as well. And then day 7 and day 8 are predictability too low, which is what you usually see. But there can also be potential too low, which is when, there's nothing. So, let's go right here. This is let's go right over to here. So, it will be in range in like an hour or so. But what we're looking at right now is the NAM 3K and the NAM. That's the best we have, which are 2 weather models. If we go right here, this is for Sunday. As you can see, this is the Cape or potential energy riding up here. You take a sounding, and Tor doesn't mean much, but this Streamwise photograph, which is curved, that's what Streamwise means. The SCUT, which is the temperature in dew point as it goes up in height, that's pretty good right there. It's pretty moist. The shear, which is this middle bar, which the more there is, usually the better it is, and yeah, that's pretty good. Mixed layer and surface Cape, which is down here in the bottom left below the SCUT, that's also pretty good. So yeah, we got that's a pretty decent sounding right there. That was from Missouri-Kansas border. See, this one looks about the same. That's also pretty good. Down here in Texas, as you can see, the moisture is not as good, but that's all right. That can work with it. And then the border moisture gets a little better. And this doesn't look very streamlined. It looks pretty flat. But there's also this little curve at the end, which indicates that it is still streamlined. And it has more cape. And also veering right here, you need that. It's to the left of the shear and the right of the scuti. And at the bottom, it needs to curve like that. If it does that, then you're good. That means you have lift. I might be getting some of this wrong because I'm not, I'm not technically a professional, but you know what I'm saying. Then the NAM. NAM is just the NAM 3K, but lower quality. It shows about the same thing. Actually shows less cape, which is interesting, but oh yeah, and it shows it being capped. So there's not model consistency, which you need, but yeah. And as you know, the threat will continue to move east throughout the night. But next day, let's go to the southern plains. Right here, you can see that cape is surging north. Not a big severe threat because there's no shear, and the veering, they're veering, but it's not much of anything at all. See, so you're not going to get good soundings or anything out here. And by the way, Tor doesn't mean anything, so don't count on it. Then GFS. GFS underdoes cape and overdoes temperature, at least from what I've observed. And as you can see, there's the cape. Plenty going up into southern Nebraska. And boom, streamlines photograph. Not bad. And see, it overdoes temperature as well, so that's pretty good. So that honestly would look pretty good. And then down here, again, overdoing temperature, underdoing cape. Photograph is relatively streamwise. There you go. And then Kansas-Oklahoma border, just one more. Yeah, same thing. Let's go to the Euro, which is the European model. European model is weird. Shows it being capped, shows it being way farther to the west. But, you know how these things go. You kind of. And then for this day, Southeast U.S. Boom. Not. Okay, so that's not that great of a sounding. Pull another one. Well, it does have a little bit of a curve right there, which indicates it could be streamwise. It might be good enough. We saw a sounding like this yesterday, at least the time of this recording. It was a mini tornado outbreak throughout Pennsylvania and Ohio. The sounding that was the balloon got that sounding pretty much. This is close to the same, and just a little better moisture. Or a little less, no, it was a little less temperature and a little less moisture, but it was closer together. So we had a pretty good tornado outbreak there. Will there be anything for Florida? No. But yeah, so that's basically what we have laid out. It could change, things could change, but you never know. It's too early to say for a few of these days, but what you definitely have to look out for is tomorrow in southern Kansas, or tomorrow basically throughout all of Kansas except for western Kansas. Day 3 throughout southern Missouri, and basically this entire slight and enhanced area. It might even shift. You have to look out for that as well. And then day 4, or day 5, and day 6, which would be Tuesday and Wednesday. You got to look out for those as well. So if you're in any of those areas, stay weather prepared. And this has been DFW Storm Chasers for Vortex. Have a good one, y'all.